News is thin on the ground today, folks. So I read something earlier that I believe happened 3 or 4 years ago. I thought I'd share it with you because it made me laugh. So many of you may have heard this, but I hadn't before. It was in the paper today. It concerns our good friend Chris KAMARA, old Cammy, who's not doing that well. Well, he's not doing that bad at the moment. He's got some issues, some health issues, but he's fighting them manfully. Anyway, I read something today. Seemingly, Cammy was on the ALAN CARR show. I think it was in about 2019. And one of his fellow stars on the show was a guy called, I should remember this, but I don't, is it Channing Tatum? I think it is. Wait a minute. Channing Tatum. Yeah. Well, I'm not that familiar myself with Channing Tatum. If he walked past me in the street, I wouldn't know who he is. That's not a problem, because if he walked past me, he wouldn't know me. But anyway, I've heard the name, don't know who he is. Anyway, he's on the show with him, and I think he's being introduced before Cammy goes on, old Channing there. And the crowd go berserk, and Alan himself is fawning all over him. I think he's a good-looking fellow, this Tatum fella. And the crowd love him, blah, 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 blah. And Cammy thinks, who is he? I've never heard of him. So, rings his wife up. He's gone on Google first on his phone, and rings his wife up. Who's this Channing Tatum? She loves him. Oh, he's great. I think he's fantastic. Brilliant, blah, 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 blah. Cammy thinks, oh, well, in that case, I'll get a picture with him backstage. He said, the wife will love that. You know, she's obviously never met him. I'll get a picture. I'll be one up with her, but also I'll be able to show her. Anyway, we know Cammy's not the sharpest tool in the box. Many will say that, you know, he's the fellow that sees red cards and don't realise they're red, sees penalties given and don't know there's been a penalty. No disrespect to him. I like him. That's what we love him for. He's not always on the ball. He wasn't on the ball this day. What he's done a Google search. The guy's come back after being interviewed by old ALAN CARR there, and he's asked Channing for a photograph, and Channing's well chuffed. Anyway, what he's done, he's put the old camera phone up to get the old selfie, and he's left the Google search on there. So Channing can see he's being searched, and Cammy says, oh, I'm really sorry, Channing, I'm really sorry. I didn't know who you was, I've never heard of you, but I've rung the wife, she knows who you are, she thinks you're great, so would you mind a selfie? He said, the guy got a selfie with him, but he didn't look impressed at all. He said, I think I offended him. He wasn't too chuffed. I was chuffed. I read it. I thought it was funny. Really, really funny. And that's the kind of thing I would do. I wouldn't be clever enough to take the search off or whatever else. Like I keep saying, folks, technophobe me, I'd have probably been able to do the search. I wouldn't have thought of taking it off. I'm a fool. Me and Cammy, two peas in a pod.